Greetings and good morning. It's Saturday, July 13th, 2024. And this morning, I'm going to read something out of the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. And I read out of this book every day, and it gives me something different every day to think about. It gives me something to internalize for myself. And I just want to share today's reading with you and just have a conversation and just ask for your comments if you have any. And yesterday's reading for July 12th was some simple rules. Some simple rules. In today's environment, simple is no longer simple. Like common sense is not common sense today. It's not practice. Everything has to be rush. Everything has to be complicated. There is no more simplicity due to the fact that, one, you have work, you have the obligations of your family, you have the obligations of your friend, you have the obligations of your bills, and you also have the obligations of those thousands of moving parts in the brain that allow us to wander from time to time. We can have a set destination, and heading toward that destination, there are detours. And sometimes we allow those detours to keep us from reaching that destination. Instead of looking at it as there's a detour. However, I'm going to go around this detour. It might take me a little more time to get to where I need to get to, but I'm going to get to my destination regardless of the detour that has been presented to me at this moment. What I've realized is that sometimes detours are meant to save you, not to harm you. Sometimes detours come to protect you from something that is happening at that particular time. Trusting yourself. Believing that there's a higher source that's keeping you and guiding you. And when you get to your destination, you're going to get there on time. It's better to be late and safe than not get there at all. For example, a week or two ago past, I was driving down the street. Ambulance was coming down the street. I pull over to my right, and there's a young man driving, and he's following behind the ambulance instead of pulling over, letting them go. So he follows the ambulance as everyone else is pulling to the right. A gentleman pulls back into the left lane, and he had the right. And this young man, he was traveling so fast, he ran into the back of this gentleman. Wherever he was going, I don't know if he made it. I don't know what the end result was. However, what I do know is that because he was traveling so fast to get to his destination, that he caused more harm by not being mindful. In today's reading, it says, in your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversations, don't confuse. In your thoughts, don't wander. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. In your life, don't be all about business. Marcus Aurelius Meditations 8.51. And it goes on to say, simple is really easy. But now that you have these rules, make it your duty to put them into practice. With the first item on your to-do list, with the first conversation you have with your soul, more so, the words that you speak to yourself counts more than the words that anyone can say to you. And of course, with the life you make for yourself. Decisions and choices guide your destiny. Not just today, but every day. Write that on the blackboard and don't forget it. Some simple rules. For myself, I can set out to do something or have a set destination. In the mornings, I like to get up in the morning very early, 4:30, 4:45, get myself together and go to the park to run while the sun is coming up. It's a beautiful thing to do because it energizes me. It enhances me. My endorphins are on fire. I'm on fire. And I can handle the stresses of the day. My mind will wander and say, okay, Tony, maybe not right now. Maybe you'll do it later. Just get yourself together and just get yourself together. And there are times that I followed my mind because I allowed my mind to wander and take me off track from doing what was best for me. Les Brown said in one of his speeches that either you program the mind or the mind will be programmed. A simple rule. In your actions, don't procrastinate. Just do it. Nike has a slogan. A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. When you start, you started. And you want to finish what you started. Because now you created a different paradigm, a different mental map. When you create that different paradigm, that different mental map, when you do things when they're hard, they become simple. The more you do them, practice, they become easier and easier and easier. Some simple rules. In your conversation, don't confuse. Have a conversation with someone. In that conversation, be clear about what it is that you're looking for. Be clear about the picture that you are doing your best you can to paint. You want them to understand you. So you want to listen to understand, and then speak to be understood clearly. In today's disconnected society, I don't want to say world, because the world, we know, it turns. The world just turns on its axis, as the scientists say. The world just turns on its axis. It's the people in the world. It's us. It's how we communicate with one another. Are we going to be clear with the communication? I just don't want to listen to you. I need to feel you. I need to feel the emotions that you're conveying to me. I need to feel that urgency so it can become an urgency on my part. However, if I cannot do what it is that you're requesting, I have to convey that back to you in a way that you're going to understand and feel me just as well too. And your thoughts don't wander. That is being mindful of where you are and staying in that place where you are. The focused, having some focused attention, having some focused emotion. That's called charisma. Being able to stay in that place where you're at. Knowing that whatever you're thinking is going to come back to you. In conversation, if I'm having a conversation with you, then I need to focus on you right then and there. You have to become the most important person at that moment. If I'm in tomorrow, next week, in a meeting that ain't taking place yet, then I'm doing you a disservice. And at the same time, I will be doing me a disservice because I will not know how to respond to you because I didn't hear you. Your time is valuable because that's what God has given us. God has given us a time span. There's a beginning and there's an end to all things. There's growth, there's birth, there is growth, decadence, then death, and then there's rebirth. For some who believes in that. The body may perish, but the spirit never dies. In the Word, God says that, and this is God says that man, woman, can't live on bread alone, but by the Word. By the Word. And words start wars, end wars. Words can build and words can break down. It's all about the communication and how we use them and what energy we convey with the words that we speak. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. It's about having a balance. It's about controlling your emotions. You know you better than anyone else. You know when something is getting ready to boil over within yourself from what someone else said. What I've learned is that I don't have to react because you're in an active state. I don't have to. That's something I don't have to do. I don't have to make that angry agreement with you that now you're angry, I'm going to be angry. I don't have to do that. What I've learned is that if you ask 100 people how they view the world or how they view society, you're going to get 100% of a different view from 100 people. You're going to get 100 different views and opinions. Another thing that I've learned is that when people are angry, the majority of the time they're angry at themselves because of what they perceive in their minds. That's their perception. That's their picture. It does not have to become yours. If you allow it to become yours, then you made that agreement. I do the best that I can do to be mindful. And here we go with that word again, mindful. Mindfulness is key. I know it's key for me because it keeps me grounded. It keeps me level and it keeps me balanced. in times of being in places that are not balanced or around people that are not balanced. I spend a lot of time with myself. And there was someone I was talking to a few years back, and they said, when you begin to ascend to a higher level, to a different degree, just like temperatures, hot and cold is just a matter of degrees. On your thermostat, it don't say hot or cold. You don't see what hot goes into cold or cold terminates into heat. We don't see that, just like we don't see electricity when we cut the switch on. We just know it comes on. But it's just a matter of different degrees. I have to control me and my perception. Those things that I believe. What's my value? What's my worth? I don't have to interact in that way. And I can also say thank you and make my exit. In your life, don't be all about business. And that is something that I can truly talk about, is devoting my life to the business. Because that's all it ever was. It was business. Money. Chasing money. Building the business. Building the clientele. You see, building the business. What about building Tony Davis first? What about in building the business, I build me first. And then I begin to find a balance. Time management. Spend so much time on building the business, and then spend so much time on building Tony, and then time to find the balance of incorporating them both and getting the proper nutrition, getting the proper rest, that the body can rejuvenate and heal, and that the mind can become balanced. And not just all the time running. Even when I sleep, the mind is running. Some simple rules. In your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversation, don't confuse. In your thoughts, don't wander. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. In your life, don't be all about business. Some simple rules. Let's have a conversation. If there was something that you heard that you didn't understand, or you couldn't put your finger to it, or didn't really make it clear, please send in your comments, and let's have a conversation about that. Let's have some growth conversations. Let's have some conversations of worth. Let's have conversations that's going to build you, and that's going to build me. Let's have some conversations that's going to open up a whole new understanding of thinking. Let's have some conversations about becoming reconnected in the midst of a disconnected society now. With all the internet, all the pop-up, everything is moving fast. fast. Like on a conveyor belt, continuously moving. And on that conveyor belt, you're getting different items on that conveyor belt. And you have to figure out which bin to put that item. Let's just have some conversation. Let's have some conversations of understanding. I'm here to listen to understand. And I will do my best to speak to be understood. Thank you. I look forward to your comments. Have a great Saturday.